Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the gym. Okay, today's mind body challenge, there's kind of two parts to it. One is just kind of having some fun with some weights and working out, and then two is some math. So, I want you to do whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to try and talk it through and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I got this sweet 40-pound weight. That's pretty stinking heavy. So, you might say to yourself, man, I can't move that. I'll never have enough force to move that. Okay, and then over here, I've got a couple 2.5-pound weights, okay? So altogether makes 5 pounds. All right, so you just say to yourself, oh, all I can handle are these little baby weights. That's all I can do, just little tiny baby workouts. I can't pick up this big guy. So there are different types of workouts for your body, and so this is where I want you to choose. Do you want to do a workout that uses a lot of power, right? Or a lot of force. And that's kind of the interesting part. There's two different types. So I don't know if maybe you know about working out, or maybe someone in your family works out a lot or lift weights, but you can kind of ask them. So you'll see people that work out with lots of weight and they do certain types of workout, and you'll see people that use light weights and do lots of workout, and they both have benefits. And so today you can obviously choose which one you want to do, but I'm also going to show you the math behind it. So let's get started. All right, what I did was this. I put out a little ruler here, and I measured about 3.3 feet. Now, why? Because that's about a meter. It's going to help us do some calculations. So, all right, here's what we're talking about. How much force is it actually going to take to move this stuff, right? All right, and you have probably seen this before, but you've got force equals mass times acceleration. Now, don't throw up. All that means is how much... Well, you know what? For being on Earth, let's just say this. How much does something weigh, right? How much stuff is it made out of? Times acceleration. Now, as you learn more about physics, you'll learn that this is not the same thing as speed, but I think for today, that's a good way to look at it. How much is it made out of? And kind of how fast is it going? All right? And that's the force. So let's do a quick example. We'll do this guy here. All right. So these 5 pounds... that is 2.25 kilograms, right? And the whole rest of the world there. All right. So I want to take the mass, that's 2.25 kilograms, and I want to multiply that by how fast it's going. Well, how fast is it going right now? 0. It is going 0 meters in 0 seconds, right? And we let it run for 0 seconds. All right, so all that 0 times all that zeros means there is no force happening whatsoever, right? It's just sitting there. Okay, so what if I were to take these 5 pounds and move them for 1 second? Ready? 1 second, done. Okay, how much force did that take? I'll be honest, it didn't feel like a whole lot. I was right here. 1 second, done. So you can do this at home. You can grab a can of beans or something light, right? Something that you have, and try to figure out how much force it is. So I'll show you how to do that. So with this one, my little weights were 2.25. Now, all right, how fast were they going? So they went 1 meter in 1 second. Okay, and how long did I run the experiment for? I ran it for 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to try to simplify this for you a little bit. Let's just multiply with this one, 1 times 1, and then we'll divide. How many times can you break 1 into 1? 1 time. If I had 1 piece of pizza, I can only get 1 slice of pizza. So, okay. So 2.25, this whole thing over here, this big complicated thing, is all equal to 1. So 2.25 times 1, the force for me to move this weight 1 meter in 1 second is 2.25. Guess what we called this? This is so cool. Newtons. That's right, after the dude himself. Okay, all right. So, like I said, That's how much force it took, 2.25 newtons. But there's different kinds of workouts. But before we get there, let's do the same thing for our big heavy weight. 2.25 newtons. Let's erase some of this stuff and let's do our big fat heavy weight. All right. So same thing. If he's not moving, then there's no force that's happening, right? So now I'm going to move it 1 meter in 1 second. Here we go. Ready? And go. 1 second and done. Okay. Whew. Man, that feels like it took a lot more. You could probably guess that, but let's just do the quick math. All right, how much did it weigh? Now, again, make it easier. That's 18 kilograms. It went 1 meter in 1 second. And how long did I run the experiment? 1 second. Okay. Multiply that by that, and you get 1. Divide 1 by 1, and you get 1. That whole thing equaled 1. So the force necessary for that big old mama jamba was 18 times 1, which is 18 newtons. Woo! Like 9 times as much force as the other one, right? It was like 2.25. This one's 18. Okay, that makes some sense. Okay, you can kind of stop there if that's the first part, but now let me kind of show you how other workouts work, and I think I'm going to kind of blow your mind. So I'll leave him over here. Let's do this. So let's say we're going to take these guys. But what we're going to do instead is, instead of taking 1 second to go down the track, let's go twice as fast, right? Let's go in half a second. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Half a second. All right. Okay. Super easy. We can do this. 2.25. That's my mass. Times. I went 1 meter. And I went in half a second. So just like half of a dollar is 50 cents. I went in half of a second. I went in 0.5, or if you want to be really precise, 0.50 seconds. How long did I run the experiment for? I ran it for 0.5 seconds. Okay. You know what? I'm going to grab my calculator. I think it might be kind of helpful. So what is 0.5 times 0.5? Okay, cool. So now, what is 1 divided by that number? Okay, so let me start over. 1, that top number, how far we went, 1 meter, divided by my second squared, so 0.25. 4. Okay. So that big, huge, complicated thing is equal to 4. So now 4 times 2.25 is 9. No way. So 9 newtons. So you're probably figuring this out, but I'll just say it. Took the same amount of weight, but because I went twice as fast, it's 9 newtons. So more force. You know what? Let's speed it up. Let's speed it up one more time. Okay, this time, I'm going to take these guys. Come here, buddy. All right, I'm going to take these guys, and we're going to go in a quarter of a second, right? Super fast. All right, marks, get set, go. All right, quarter of a second. Let's do that. Okay, here's something interesting. And again, you can do this. So you can find your own weights at home, whether they be like weights or, like I said earlier, a can of beans. Figure out how much force you're using to move it. All right, so in this case I did 2.25 times, I went 1 meter. This time I only went a quarter of a second. So just like 25 cents, right? So I went a quarter of a second. How long did I run the experiment for? Just a quarter of a second. Okay, so let's multiply those two together. Oh, now I'm definitely gonna need my calculator here, because that sounds like it might be a little bit longer of a decimal. Okay, my calculator. 0.25 times 0.25, that squares it. Okay, 0.0625. So now I just need to know what 1 is divided by that number. So 1 divided by 0.0625. All right, so that big complicated thing is equal to 16. Whoa, hold on. So now 16 times 2.25, 36. 36 newtons of force. Oh my gosh. Okay, so maybe I'm getting too excited here, but let me kind of show you what I'm talking about. So for me, let me bring the other whiteboard back. Okay. All right. This is the big one, right? This is the big guy. So for me to move him that 1 meter in 1 second, even though he's a big old heavy weight, done. That was 18 newtons of force. So yeah, right? That was tough to do all that at one time. But if I move these little guys in like a quarter of a second, right, super fast, that took 36 newtons of force. So now think about it. When you go to work out, you want to use some big heavy weights, right? Go slow, really build up a whole lot of, right, strength. Or do you want to use a lot of force by moving little weights pretty quickly? Okay, I hope this has been fascinating for you. Like I said, at the very least, try some. Try finding different weights around your house and try moving some slowly and some quickly. And try the different workouts. See how it makes your muscles feel. Can you do a lot of reps? Can you do just a few reps? Then, if you really want to take it to the next level, figure out how much the object that you're using weighs and do the calculations. How far did you move it? Divide it by how long it took. Divide by how long you ran the experiment. Okay, that's the Mind Body Challenge. Take a picture or post what you worked on and what you did. And you guys have an amazing day. Thanks.